Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Watch Dares TV. I'm back with another review, and this one is of City on the Hill, Season 3, Episode 6, Tenderness. If you like this video, of course, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. And let's begin with this review. So, this episode was a pretty good one. Like I say that about most episodes, but this one was really good. The episode basically started off with Jackie. He goes to the hospital. We don't know what's going on. We definitely can tell that Jackie is the comic relief of this TV show because basically, even though he's been shot, we see he's still cracking jokes, still being as funny as he always is, throwing in some wisecracks. And then there's a flashback that shows that Jackie, he was trying to get in contact with Bet, the woman that basically was drugged by Sinclair, but she's not there, so we can't find her. Okay, my prediction is that most likely Bet is probably dead, most likely. But anyway, he finds that she's not there, and he ends up getting shot in the leg. And so the scene is totally intense, a lot going on and stuff like that. DeCourcy, he questions Angela Hicks, this woman named Angela Hicks, about Sinclair to help him basically take down Sinclair. But he completely gets rejected. She's not interested in helping him. I guess and she was paid off, and she just doesn't want to get involved anymore, and deal with him. So basically, DeCourcy spends most of the episode trying to find these women that can help him bring down Sinclair. Um, Jackie believes that it was the Jules brothers that shot him. Jenny says that she's interested in. Basically, Jackie believes that it's the Jules brothers that shot him down. Basically, Jackie has a whole lot of enemies and stuff like that throughout the city of Boston, throughout his police career. So he believes that they're trying to get revenge on him. Whoever these people are, I'm not sure, but yeah. Then Jenny says that she was listening to Otis Redding, trying a little tenderness, which is his name of his song, but that's also the name of the episode, Tenderness. So I like how they throwing in the names of episodes into the actual episode. I like how they did that. Yeah, but anyway, um, Guy has Chris work with Blair over the abortion clinic bombing, basically. So in this episode, we have Chris and Blair. They're working together for this guy who tried to basically blow up a clinic, as you can see, an abortion clinic. So yeah, that's a bit wild. Um, Saban finds she finally decides to get some therapy to basically talk about what's going on with her and everything going on with Lulu and that whole situation. She talks about how she basically lost her child last year and the last season, but she won't talk about Lulu though, so she keeps that private. She is not ready to talk about that yet. Jenny and Benedetta, I guess that's how you pronounce her name. That's not the character's name I can't pronounce in this show. They meet up in hospital to see Roar, and she tells her that basically she relapsed on drugs, but she's trying to work to get clean. So I'm not sure what prediction I have for her. I hope she really can stay clean. That definitely earlier in the series she had a bit of a drug problem. She was wilding out and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't want to think that she would overdose, but I get a strong feeling she might overdose. That's my prediction. She might overdose possibly somewhere later on in the series, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's my prediction for her. Um, Jackie's daughter. Blair talks to basically the bomber that ended up trying to blow up the clinic. He claims to basically be defending his Catholic religion and other Catholics by doing this. Chris doesn't feel he is crazy. Chris sort of has his own feeling towards this guy. I guess this episode he really battles with his own personal religion when it comes down to being a Catholic and all. So he's kind of at a weird spot in this episode, it seems like, for Chris. DeCourcy finds a girl who can help him with Sinclair. She seems to look at some photos and she sort of gets stuck on Dominic for a while, but claims she doesn't know who she is. So most likely this girl might be important later on in the series, in this season, when it comes down to taking down Sinclair. She seems like she's hesitant, who knows, but she might possibly be useful. Because she did look at that picture of Dominic, but she claims that she's never seen a dead body before, but maybe she might be useful because she seems like she was staring at that picture a little bit too long. But maybe they can help her. Maybe she can be able to be useful. I think my prediction. Saban starts to Saban is starting to look at being looked at as a liability on the Mendoza case, and she might end up possibly losing it, as she's told by her boss. Because of the whole thing going on with Lulu and stuff like that. So it's looking like she might possibly lose her case. So she's gonna have to tighten up some and fix some of her issues going on because it's really starting to affect her work. Jenny's mom, she makes a return, and basically she has some pretty harsh words to say about Jackie and basically everybody else, from Jenny to her own granddaughter. She's happy that Jenny ended up punching her dad. She's happy that he did that, so she's cool with her doing that. She says that if Jackie dies, that she wants to move back in and take her house back, and she's just basically being a tough mom. I don't know which one is tougher, her or Jenny's dad. They just both are just seem like they're just difficult parents. And then also she ends up finding out, Jenny finds out from her mom that she could, have a half brother. So that's a pretty shocking turn of events. She can have a half brother going on here. Who would have known? Blair and Chris talk about the fiance of the bomber. She basically had an abortion, and because of her religion, she felt guilty of doing this thing, and she decides that she will testify against him. Chris is feeling something about her because of his Catholic religion. So, like I said, in this episode, Chris is feeling real uncomfortable because his own religion going on, stuff like that, and all of this going. He seemed like he's feel really uncomfortable because his own religion is sort of having to do with this case dealing with this bomber. So I can tell Chris is really out of his element in this episode. Saban talks with Michelle. I can't pronounce her name. Another name I can't pronounce on the show. Michelle about Lulu basically, and she decides that she wants to pay for the Malcolm family, pay them off, pay them. Because she feels guilt about the whole accident that she had with Lulu and the member of the Malcolm family. So she decides that she wants to pay them. Jackie survives his gun wound, but has a full boner basically, and the male nurse has to basically get that out the way for him, and yeah, so that was pretty funny scene. The whole episode with Jackie in the hospital has been completely hilarious. His dialogue with everybody, even his roommate. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that though. But Jackie in this episode was completely hilarious. From getting shot to being in the hospital, I love his dialogue. Blair flirts with Chris a little bit, but nothing really happens. They, after their whole, deciding to set up this woman to basically testify, they have a little dialogue and stuff like that. I think she says that she has a husband or she wants a husband, I believe. I didn't really catch what she said, but there might be a possible connection between Blair and Chris, maybe. But then again, they're coworkers, so most likely it won't happen, but there's a chance, so I don't know about them. I don't know if I ship them yet, but seems like it. Two cops come to investigate Jackie, but basically nothing comes of it. They know that Jackie has tons of enemies, and but they basically don't feel like they can do nothing for him, so they just kind of leave him off in the wind. Yeah, so not much to say about that. Chris tells DeCourcy he wants to become an investigator. He wants to leave the strike force. So this is going to be interesting. This might be a better place for Chris if he become an investigator, because I personally feel that the stress of the strike force is just too much for him. Too many cops are, getting hit in line of duty. So maybe being an investigator might be better off for Chris, I believe. So that's going to be interesting to see. Even though, like I said, I do feel like Chris might possibly die before the end of the season, I would like to see him become an investigator. And also, we find out this episode that Chris ends up, the hooker that he messed with in the previous episode, left him a little something, as we see. So yeah, that was, yeah. So basically, he's not doing good down there, if you get my drift. Anyway, Saban finds out that she has been exonerated, and she's happy now. So she got that out of the way. So a little bit of more stress getting off of her chest. She got so much going on, everything from what happened to her last season to this season. She got a lot of stress going on for her. So at least that's a mini win for her, Saban. Siobhan, I think that's, I'm sorry, her name was Siobhan. Blair and DeCourcy, they seem to get more closer from their short talk that they had in the hallway. So they seem like they're building up a better partnership between the two. I like that scene. She asks him about his gun and stuff like that, and whole trust issues, and so I like their dialogue that they had. They seem like they're becoming closer as a team. Jackie has a room with man who basically he has a in this episode he has a room in a hospital with a man that basically a gay man that was suffering from a homophobic attack outside of a club. The guy basically doesn't want to be bothered by Jackie, and but they spend the whole episode going back and forth. The dialogue is hilarious. I love that scene that they had. A little bit of funny to inject into this episode. Saban meets with the Malcolm family, and the wife basically lets Saban have it about her husband basically never being able to walk again, and just completely just goes in on Saban and has Saban crying in the car basically. So yeah, that was wow, painful scene. Yeah. Milani comes to the hospital and tells Jackie that basically Bet is missing. Like I said, my prediction is that most likely Bet is dead. Jackie finds out he it wasn't really who he thought he was that was gunning for him. So all the theories that he thought he was, that people getting revenge on him, he ends up finding out that it wasn't who he thinks it is. I think it's the Jules brothers. He doesn't think it's who he thought it was. So basically, it leaves a mystery as to who really did shoot Jackie. Most likely, it probably had to been people from Sinclair. Most likely, Sinclair has an idea that Jackie is on to him, maybe, but then again, also Jackie has a lot of enemies, so even I'm not sure. I really feel like it's pointing too close to it being Sinclair, most likely. So, Latia visits Jackie, and we know this wasn't going to end well. And then, of course, Jenny walks in, and it just all ends horribly. I don't know what she was thinking walking up in there, like nothing was going to happen. Any other woman would have most likely knocked her head off her shoulders, but she got lucky when Jenny decided not to do it. She just decided, you know what, forget Jackie. I'm gonna mess with the basically Father Doyle. So that was just I don't know what she was thinking doing that. She just privilege I guess. Jenny tells Sue about Latia. I hope I pronounced her name right. She tells her friend Sue about Latia, and basically her friend Sue tells her hook up with Father Doyle. Basically that's the one that's nicer and I guess treats you better. So she doesn't want to do it, but she does decide to later on. Siobhan tells DeCourcy he should visit Jackie. I think I like that scene because it sort of sets it up for a possible future friendship between these two. They definitely need to have more interaction, even though DeCourcy doesn't trust Jackie, and Jackie probably looks at DeCourcy as being stiff and super serious all the time. But I did like that scene though. She telling him to go visit him. Jackie and Xavier go back and forth, and I love that scene. Like I said, that was hilarious seeing Jackie and Xavier, his basically roommate that was in his hospital room with him. I love their exchange that they had. It was hilarious. Father Doyle and Jenny, like I said, they set up a date after basically they were talking about Jackie's getting shot. So that was pretty weird. You're talking about your husband being shot with your side dude, and now y'all hooking up. So that was a bit much, but then again, maybe this is what is best for Jenny to hook up with Father Doyle. Even though I feel like she's going to get bored of him, she just loves Jackie. I just don't see her leaving Father Doyle. He's just too much of a good guy, and Jackie has the bad boy charisma for him. So, I don't see her really staying with Father Doyle. I think that she's only doing this temporarily, but she'll mess with Father Doyle because he's safe. I personally think. My prediction. DeCourcy visits Jackie, and one girl left to ask about Sinclair. Oh yeah, so like I said, he ends up finding out there's one girl left that can help them with this whole Sinclair case. They find out Latia knows Jackie has been investigating Sinclair, so that's pretty weird. So that's definitely going to possibly lead to, us finding out who shot Jackie, which most likely I believe it had to have been Sinclair. Hire some people to do it, just had to have been. DeCourcy has a loving, and I also realized from their interaction in the hospital room between DeCourcy and Jackie is that I noticed that, I don't know if they do this intentionally, I think they do. DeCourcy, let me see, wait, hold on. DeCourcy, I realized that DeCourcy has a loving marriage, but he has no kids. Whereas Jackie, he, has a daughter, but he has a bad marriage. That's a really interesting switch up between DeCourcy and Jackie. That basically that's thing that makes them opposites. They both have what the other would love to have. I don't know if the writers did that intentionally, but I like that whole switch up that they have going on between the two, like the compare and contrast between Jackie and DeCourcy. I like how they have that. DeCourcy talks with the last girl who can help stop Sinclair. She says that the police basically threatened her, and DeCourcy says, "How about you just go for revenge?" So now they finally have somebody that can help them bring down Sinclair. They finally found one woman they can help. And this Russian woman, he tells her, and she decides, to talk her into getting revenge on Sinclair. So there we go. We finally found somebody who can help them bring down the creep Sinclair. Jackie, he has a scene. This episode ends with him trying to basically get in contact with Jenny, but she's out with Father Doyle, and he basically questions his life on the phone with his daughter. When he went under, as you can see early in this episode, he was nervous about going under anesthesia, and he talked to his daughter about it, and Jenny tells Father Doyle at this date that they're having, she feels that she isn't worthy of being loved, and then they kiss, and now Jackie is sort of in her shoes basically now, dealing with a spouse that's going off cheating, and now he's feeling no tenderness as the Otis Redding song comes on. This episode was really good. I like the writing this episode. It just the dialogue between Jackie and Xavier in the hospital room was hilarious. I liked where the episode starts off with Jackie's commentary of being shot in the leg, and then we find out later what happened to him. I like that whole way that scene was written. Very good build up to the last two episodes of this season. Like I said, I still feel that my predictions that Chris is gonna die before the end of this season. I also like that this season is more easier to understand compared to like the first one. It was so much that went on in the second season, but I feel like this season is just so much more easier to understand. Some of the characters, some of the storylines are really a whole lot going on, but I feel like this season is more clear, more easier to understand with the storylines. But yeah, if you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you're a fan of City on a Hill, subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing a review of the rest of the episodes of this season, and if the show gets to season 4, I'll be doing a review of that. And yeah, like I said, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, all that. And thanks for watching my video.